Today I'm recapping the last year on the channel. I'll be sharing how much YouTube actually pays me. YouTube actually paid me last year $78,000 US. And I'll be touching on loads of subjects you guys have sent in, including the state of the travel niche here on YouTube. We are starting to lose the magic of travel. People don't travel anymore, they go on content trips. Right, 2025 is finished. Thank you so much for joining me. It was quite a whirlwind of a year. I feel like towards the end of the year, I was holding on for dear life. It was a very energy demanding year. I don't know how I got through it, but we did. And so just a massive thank you to anyone who's watched the videos. If you've subscribed last week, last year, or any point during this 4-year journey, thank you so much for helping this YouTube channel turn into something. We are a little corner of the internet that we just go out and express ourselves. We go out, we have fun, different parts of the world, different continents, but mainly the core has always been here in Thailand. And so I just thought we could go over a little bit of the last year, the last 12 months of the channel, views, subscribers, revenue, that type of thing, and then we'll make some plans. I am basically winging this video. Last night we celebrated New Year's here in Bangkok. Everybody went out onto the streets and to watch all the firework displays, but me and Miss P, we were not having any of that. We just wanted to stay at home in our pajamas eating chocolate. When it hit midnight, we went out to the front here of our balcony. We had a really beautiful view actually of the drone shows and all the fireworks across the city. And we didn't have to put up with traffic and crowds. And it was just nice to be boring at home for New Year's because it's been a busy year, and I'll get on to some of the big milestones. But let's start off with how the channel performed. So let's start with the bad news, and that is the fact that the subscribers and the views of the YouTube channel went down quite significantly compared to the previous years. As you can see here, 44,300 new subscribers in year 5, which was great. A huge amount of new subscribers, but it's very low in comparison to the past few years. And I think the main reason for that is the destinations that I went to this year were destinations that aren't viral places. If you go to places like India, the Philippines, and you make certain types of content, you can really farm growth. But I didn't really want to concentrate on virality. I wanted to concentrate on being stable and going to the places that I wanted to go to, do the trips that I wanted to do. I think that reflects in the fact that the subscriber growth went down quite significantly, as well as views. According to YouTube, we got 9 million views this year, which is a huge drop. As you can see here on this graph, it's gone up and up and up, and then this year it's gone back down. Now, some people might panic and go, oh my God, is your YouTube channel dying? But here's the thing, even though views went down and subscribers went down in comparison to previous years, revenue has actually increased, which is the main thing that matters. So in the back end, I've been able to, through sponsorships, brand deals, book deals, affiliate links, really grow the revenue streams. If you can see here, YouTube actually paid me last year $78,000 US, which is about the same as last year. So even though views went down quite considerably, the revenue stayed the same. Now, that revenue there, that is a huge amount of money for, you know, AdSense in 1 year, but that only really equates to around 20-25% of the overall revenue of the YouTube channel. Most of the revenue comes in the back end, but I can't really go into too much detail about how much sponsors pay me because it's all in the contracts and things like that. But as you can probably hear through the things I'm saying, it really is quite a successful business in the background. And I feel like even though in the previous years we had, you know, bigger spikes of growth, views and subscribers and things like that, this year was all about consistency. So yeah, after northern Thailand, we went to a few of the beautiful islands in the east of Thailand. We came back to Bangkok, and then we started going internationally, and I went on my big trip to Hong Kong, and I made a fantastic video about hiking across the Maclahoosh Trail. And that was 9 months ago now, and it was such a beautiful experience. And luckily, thankfully, that video did really well, and it motivated me to do more hiking trips. And that's what we did. We went to New Zealand and we hiked through Milford Sound, we hiked through the Rootburn track, and we just backpacked around. It was incredible. Then we went to Jeju in Korea, nipped over to Japan, then we went to Madeira and the Azores in Portugal, before coming back to Thailand and having lots of trips, going on all kinds of mad adventures up north and around. We also squeezed a trip into Singapore. We also squeezed a trip into the Swiss Alps, and we did the Mont Blanc loop, which was an absolutely incredible experience. And then after that, we went up north and we started doing that slow trip around on the Mekong before finishing the year on the islands. Big year in terms of travel, which I think is one of the reasons why I'm so tired, because it's been a long trip, it's been a long year, lots of passport stamps, lots of visas, lots of expenses on flights, hotels, and you know, what I'm gearing up to say is that next year, 2026, I think we're going to be turning our attention to more domestic trips, more trips in Thailand and more trips in Southeast Asia. I really don't want to go on these huge long European tours for two reasons. The main reason is financially. Even though views and subscribers went down and revenue went up, I've actually been spending a lot of money here in Bangkok, as I'll get into soon. And yeah, I just need to kind of replenish my savings. I don't really know, I haven't made any plans, to be honest with you, because I've been so busy with so many things. So let's get on to a few of the things that have been happening in my personal life. So obviously I proposed to Miss P in Singapore, and thankfully she said yes, and she wanted to get married quite quickly. So we're actually getting married this year in March, on March 7th here in Bangkok. So we had to switch our attention to planning the wedding, which took up a lot of time. The wedding is pretty much all sorted, and we've got 100 people in Bangkok, friends and family coming over from Europe, coming from America, all around the world. And we're all going to be in Bangkok for about a week, and we've got little events around the wedding, and it should be really fun. And I just can't wait to be a married man, which is going to be fantastic. Then we also were desperate to leave this condo. We have bought our own apartment, me and Miss P, and we move in hopefully in June. It is ours, we have the keys, and we've been there a bunch, and we've already been selling the furniture that's in there, because we're going to renovate it. And that entire process of the purchase, the renovation, and the reveal will probably come out on this YouTube channel. Maybe in August, I might do a video on the whole process, condense the next 6 months into a quick video for you. But you can follow the entire journey in real time if you're interested on Patreon or in the channel membership areas. Just click the link in the description if you'd like to follow along. We've already released a few videos about how the apartment looks right now, what our plans are in terms of the design process, the renovation process, how does that go, how much does that cost. There's a lot of personal information in those videos which will, for that reason, live over there. So if you're interested in that series in real time, then join the Patreon. Big year, getting married or proposing and planning a wedding, buying a home, renovating a home, and running a YouTube channel full time, and traveling as much as I do. And also I secured a book deal with Moon Travel. So I'm actually writing their guide for Thailand in the background. So I'm spending most of my time either on the road, editing, planning, buying things, doing things. Like, it just feels like I haven't had much time to breathe. So whenever I do have a down moment, I normally sit at my desk here, play Ark Raiders, and just try to let my brain breathe. So next year, as you can hear, I can't really afford to just go to New Zealand again and do more hikes. I can't really afford to go over to Europe. I've got family coming over for the wedding, so that kind of kills two birds with one stone. I don't have to go back to the UK next year because they're all coming to see me here. And so for personal reasons and financial reasons, we're staying in Thailand, and then no doubt throughout this year I'll probably end up going, oh actually I really fancy a trip to Taiwan, or I really want to go to Malaysia finally, or I really want to do this. And I might go on some international trips, but don't be surprised if this entire year is Thailand related content, just because it's easier for me to do, it's less taxing in terms of energy and financial expenditure. So we'll see how the year pans out. I really don't have any plans. Normally I have all these big exciting announcements. I'm going here, we're doing this, get it ready for this. This year it's more like, I'm tired. Let's see if we can get through 2026 in one piece. The one thing that I'm so proud of, if I go to my SD card, every time I render a video to upload it to YouTube, I leave a little number. So this year we did 65 long form videos. That's 65 full length, 30 minute, 45 minutes sometimes, documentary style videos where it takes 2 to 3 days, maybe more to film, 2 to 3 days, maybe more to edit, and still getting one up every single week. 65 uploads in 52 weeks, more than one video a week. Once again, consistent uploading, consistent, good quality, high quality videos of hiking across the world, driving a motorcycle across Thailand, or just expressing ourselves, having fun in different parts of the world, trying to show light and show love to the places that we're going and motivate some of you to book your trips and see other parts of the world. This year, I only have one goal, and the goal is to remain consistent on YouTube whilst I try to sort my life out. So I don't want the YouTube channel to suffer, but I also don't want, you know, the renovation to get lackluster and the wedding to fall apart and, you know, life to just seemingly collapse around me because I'm concentrating too much on the YouTube. So this year is just about finding that balance, but remaining consistent to my weekly upload. Obviously, we've talked about revenue, and big sections of my revenue come from my sponsorship deals. I've just secured another long-term sponsor this year. And, you know, it's a big amount of revenue coming in. And it's also a contract that you sign. You promise to deliver them 2 promotional pieces a month. So for a whole year, you know, I have to remember that I have to upload at least 2 videos a month. It's just one of those years, isn't it? I think this year is about trying to maintain sanity amongst all of the things that are going on around us, and trying to concentrate on the life and the air in our lungs and the world around us and enjoying every minute as possible. And so that's my goal. Just try to make it through the end by remaining consistent, and hopefully have a really happy, healthy year. That's the most important thing every year, isn't it? Okay, so that's a quick look at the channel from last year and a nice discussion about my mental state and what we think we might do next year. But let's end with a quick Q&A. Thank you to everyone who responded on Instagram yesterday on New Year's Eve. I just said, have you got any random questions for me about the channel and me, and I'll get back to you. And let's just go through some of these together now. Divya says, what are your thoughts on the future of the YouTube/influencer industry? That's a really deep question, because I feel like we're at this interesting crossroads right now. Like, my friends who are content creators really, and I understand why they do this, but they've really changed the way that they approach content creation as a job, as a business. And I completely understand why they do this, but basically what's changed is everything is pre-scheduled, pre-planned, pre-thought out, researched the hell out of, and then you go and execute the trip. People don't travel anymore, they go on content trips. That's what they call them. They go, I'm going on a content trip, which means they're going to a destination, and sometimes they pay people to organize this for them, and they will literally land and go through a checklist. Okay, I need this shot, I need to go here, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to go there. And it's like a play-by-play checklist, a shot list, and then they know that they're going to leave that destination with set amount of YouTube videos, set amount of TikToks, and they can go viral and they can grow their business. And I completely understand that, okay, from a content business perspective. But what happened to just grabbing your camera and documenting an adventure, setting sails to the wind and having a free spirit, and documenting the emotional roller coaster of going somewhere new? And I feel like the magic of travel on the niche in YouTube anyway, I can't speak on any other niche, but the travel niche, I feel like we are starting to lose the magic of travel, and it's trickling down into the audience. Because when I go to these touristy places now, when I was recently on Koh Chang and other places, they want to be content creators. They want to share their experience. And, you know, most of them are holding an iPhone. And if you think about how good a camera on an iPhone these days is, you're basically a professional filmmaker with one of these, okay? Everyone's doing a checklist. Okay, I need to eat here, I need to go there, I need to do this. I've only got 2 weeks, I need to be efficient, I need to have everything pre-planned, I need to have everything pre-booked. And so content creators are going on these trips, and it's all instead of actually going somewhere and not knowing what's going to happen, they already know the ending. They already know what's going to happen. So what's the point? What's the point? Because if you're going on a trip like that, I mean, we're only maybe 6 months away from just typing that into a prompt in AI and say, create 10 YouTube videos about a guy's trip to so-and-so. Create 10 clips of a guy doing this, doing that. Like, and it will just generate it for you. And then you can post it and no one would know. So like, what's the point in going traveling anymore if you're just going to tick off a checklist to make a YouTube video? And so it's trickling down to the audience, and it's trickling down to the average person. Instead of just sitting on a beach reading a book, enjoying sunset, having a drink, going for a walk, breathing in the air, staring up at the stars, staring up at the clouds, watching a storm, experiencing the stress of an overnight bus or meeting people on an overnight train, instead of all of those moments that create long-lasting memories and change your perspective of the planet that you live on. Everyone's doing this, everyone's filming like this, everyone's doing this, taking selfies, there's a beautiful sunset, okay, I must film it, oh, there's a firework display, let me film it and check if it's good framing. Put this down, stop planning your trips that much, and just go with the flow. And just get on your bike, get on a train, get in your car, book a flight, and try to just set sails to the wind. I promise you, you'll have a much better time. And there's a few content creators that I like that do this, you know, Gabriel Traveler, the OG. He just goes constantly on the road, constantly filming on his GoPro, random things, random thoughts, random hikes, things he eats, places he goes, and he just films the experience. He has good days, he has bad days. Northerners, they struggle, they go on hardcore budget trips, and they film all the ups and all the downs. And these are two people, just as off the top of my head, who are going into these trips with a sense of true, authentic travel. And when I jump on Zelda and I just follow the Mekong, yes, I have my Google Maps and I think in the morning over a coffee, oh, that temple could be good, that could be interesting visually. You know, I need to think about the video, but I don't know what's going to happen. And sometimes I break down, sometimes I have a bad day and I take it out on the place I'm at. Sometimes I have an amazing out-of-body experience, like a spiritual moment, and I'm there with my camera and I'm able to hopefully portray that moment. But I feel like the industry is becoming a little bit copy and paste with a fresh lick of thumbnail, and everyone's repeating the same format, same intro, same music, same format, same intro, just slightly changing the thumbnail and calling it a new YouTube video. And so I feel like we're losing the magic of travel. But I get it, you know, trips are expensive. You need to be efficient, okay? There's no point going to Korea, for example, for a week without a plan, especially if you're going there to make content. But how about the trip is the content? Adrian Travel Photo Box says, where do you see Bangkok in 10 years' time? I think Bangkok is one of the very few cities that is getting better every single year. It's getting bigger, but they're building newer things, they're taking care of things, they're fixing things, and yes, we had the earthquake, which was very traumatizing. Bangkok is just getting bigger and better every year, and Thailand is doing a really good job of basically keeping the country safe. And, you know, there's no open immigration here. If anything, immigration is getting really strict. More and more, nearly every day, I see people getting refused entry, and they make TikToks about it, crying in immigration cells because they didn't get their paperwork together or they just were abusing the system. Thailand has always been quite laid back to people, but over the last year, and it's going to be happening much more going forward, Thailand is cracking down. It wants people to come on holiday, but it only wants people living here, you know, can participate in the economy of being here. Bangkok will be flourishing in 10 years and everyone will be desperate to live here, and it will probably be harder to live here in 10 years time. So getting here 10 years ago, building myself a base here now, buying myself a home and building a business here was a good decision. I'm glad I left teaching. No hate to my school, no hate to any of my colleagues. I do, in a way, miss living in Chiang Mai in the school. I think Bangkok will be one of the most sought after places to live. I really do. I mean, find a city that improves year on year, and, you know, infrastructure, design, building, things going on, draw internationally. It's just growing and growing and growing and getting better and better and better. And I'm so happy that I've now secured myself a little spot in the middle of it all for the rest of my life. Bash2 says, what's your favourite country outside of Thailand? I think it probably would be New Zealand. It was just so beautiful. Bash2 also says, if you could only watch one other YouTuber for the rest of your life, just one, who would it be? Probably Dr. Disrespect. I think he's really funny. KVD says, what's your favourite gun in Ark Raiders? I really love the sniper. I normally pair the sniper with the kettle so that I can get a good shot off and then up close, quickly switch guns and kill them. By the way, if you don't know what we're talking about Ark Raiders, one of the best games to come out this year. Rachel says, what was the best destination of 2025? I think it was New Zealand. It was unbelievable. Rachel also says, is your YouTube course still an up-to-date reflection of your own filming and starting your own channel? Yeah, it's still completely relevant. And even though I filmed it 2 years ago now, it's still completely relevant. I haven't really changed my style and my approach. I've only just kind of slightly upgraded my editing software and my cameras. Hauser says, what was your biggest accomplishment of 2025? I think it was the Maclehose Trail across Hong Kong or hiking over Madeira with Joe. Both were very physically, mentally demanding, and I couldn't have done it without Joe. And thankfully, I don't know how I made it across Hong Kong in one piece. Those were my biggest accomplishments, my most difficult hikes. Barbara says, what have you been most proud about of 2025? I think the most proud was being able to sort of show my family around Thailand at the beginning of the year. We had this incredible trip. We went to the south, we went to the north, we finished in Bangkok, and I just felt like that trip really came together. And there was moments in that trip where I just sat back and I watched my family enjoying Thailand in the best way possible, and I knew it was because of the experience and the know-how that I had gained through lots of trips and living here. And just to see their smiles being so bright, I felt proud about that. Richie says, what's the best way to buy a house in Thailand if you don't have a Thai partner? Well, you can't buy land as a foreigner, but you can buy an apartment because it's not actually the land, it's the air above the land. So a Thai person will always own the building or own the land, but you can as a foreigner own an apartment. Just speak to an agent. Like, we went through an agent and we found a really great apartment, and then you can purchase it. Foreigners can own condominiums in Thailand, which is great. Right, let's finish with one last question. Danny Lee Clark says, what advice would you give to aspiring travel content creators at the start of their journey? Well, just document your trip and document your emotional journey through that trip. Give your audience entertainment and information. Don't be too entertaining and forget to say important things, but don't be too informational and it turns into quite a boring video. Try to find a balance between, oh, this is useful, and oh, this is fun. You won't get it right for a while. You'll be too much of this or too much of this, but you'll learn through create as much as you can, create as many videos as possible. Don't worry too much about how it looks and how it sounds, because you'll get better, you'll hone in. Once you get monetized, you can start spending that money on improving your equipment. So just start with your phone or a very affordable action camera. You don't need mics, you don't need drones, you don't need music, you don't need anything. Just talk to the camera, practice your skill set, and make a bunch of mistakes and get better over time. Everybody wants a shortcut, right? What do they say? Everyone's jealous of where you are, but no one's jealous of the work it took to get there, right? And you need to go through that working process. There's no shortcuts, unfortunately. Yes, you can learn lots of things from experienced people. There are interesting communities out there. The Creator's Edge, my friend Keys' business is a good example where you can connect with other people who've made those mistakes and learned those lessons, and you can get those from them, but it doesn't 100% mean that you can just jump to the front of the queue. If you want to claim a space in the internet, in the content creation world, you need to stamp your authority by creating content in that niche. There are a million niches out there, just choose one. If there isn't one, then create one for yourself. There's only one you, so just be yourself. Don't recreate what everyone else is doing. And if you have a viral hit, have a look at what worked and then use that going forward, but don't just make the same video 20 times and make loads of mistakes. And just build in public and have fun. And if it's not fun, and if you're forcing it, step away and do something else. Right, I've been filming now for 49 minutes, so I think I'm gonna cut this down to about half that time because I've been rambling for too long. And the moral of the story is, number one, thank you. Thank you so much to anyone who's watched any of the videos and subscribed recently. And I think this year could be the most interesting year yet. Obviously, there'll be some kind of video regarding the wedding. I'm not filming the wedding, but I'll let you know how it went and what happened. Hopefully, it will be a fun story to tell. There'll also be some trips to the north of Thailand. I'm about to go up to Chiang Mai for a very special reason. So next week, stay tuned for one of the best videos in a long time. Then I don't know what's going to happen after that. I probably will stay in Bangkok for the first few months of 2026. And then I'll get on my bike, whether it's a motorbike or my cycle or something else. I'll probably head down south because it's been so long since I've been to the islands. So I'm busy writing my book, busy getting married, busy renovating the new apartment that we just bought. So lots going on. And somehow in the middle of all of this, I'm going to produce a great video for you to sit down and enjoy every Saturday at 6 p.m. Thailand time. Let's be positive. Let's put this down as much as possible and open our eyes to the world around us and experiencing this beautiful planet that we call home. And let's take care of it as much as we can. Right, love you. I'll see you next week from a very beautiful place doing a very special thing. Whew.